Janica Burnell, and I am introducing our app. Our app is an attempt to bring two cultures together in an academic and purposeful way. My teammates Phil and Jin have long since left the area. I am in Maine, and I'm recording from Maine. What we wanted to do was to find an app, or an application that would suit both the K through 5 and the high school realms of mine and Jin's schools. We use the context of mathematics to bridge a cultural gap. Elementary school students are often perplexed by a lot of math that they may come in contact. And high school students in Korea trying to learn how to speak English may feel intimidated by a more adult setting, and both parties will be able to benefit from having a less intimidating environment. They'll also be able to be a little bit more respectful of problems that elementary school students often have with writing, and English learners may often have with writing. So what we're going to do first is we'll introduce the product, and we'll show you the screens and how they develop and how you would navigate through just the bare bones of the product the app that we're producing. This app could be cross-cultural from the United States to France, France to the United States, an African nation, a European nation. It's really not the fact that it's one nation to another. It's taking something that both parties could benefit from using. So the fact that we're using mathematics in Korea happened to just be a coincidence of the people in the team. So enjoy, and if you have any questions whatsoever, you can either email me, Phil, or Jin, and let us know what you think. Thanks. So here's the login screen. Then it goes to individual people, and as you can see, there's a little microphone for the little guys who may have problems with typing. That can take you over to the dashboard as a teacher, and here we have Mr. Kim, and some of the classes and the information. We also have the questions that their students may be asking, the answers, and analytics. And that analytics we think will be a really powerful platform, which we're still developing. But the teacher also has a way to see messages, the calendar, and also edit the profile. Once they click on a class, that would take them to over here, and they can see what their students are doing. One of the questions that was posed to us was, how are we going to bridge the cultural gap? So we thought that was a really interesting thing. So even before our students start integrating as tutors and learners, we thought they needed to have an introduction. So we thought we would have a place for video, either a chat or just regular video, whiteboard integration, text messaging. For the little guys especially, they don't understand that although it's 8 a.m. in Wilmington, Delaware, they don't understand that it's dark in Korea. So I thought that was a really important thing for them to see, that there are different time zones. From there, as a K-5 student, the dashboard would allow them different modalities to enter questions, such as speaking, drawing, camera. If they just wanted to take a picture off the board that they were having a problem with, they could write it. They could do a video, whiteboard. And this screen also gives them access to their dashboard, information about Korea, as well as the Cultural Connections screen. From here, they could monitor their questions. Here's our student, and there would be information there, an email down here. This is a much more iconic setup because the younger student is not as textually oriented as an older student. Here we have a way for them to hear it. They also have a list of their questions. They have a list of the answers and also the person who's answering them. That adds to the humanistic view that this is not just some machine that's answering them, but a human who has feelings, and we need to respond appropriately. From here, the Korean student dashboard looks very similarly to the teacher dashboard. We have the Korean student, and we have the open questions that are there, as well as pictures of the students whose questions they're answering. We have answers in progress and also an area for cultural connection. The student can also see messages, calendars, assignments, as well as edit their profile. Once they find an answer that is interesting to them or has been assigned, they would be put into this screen where it has the answer as well as a picture of the questioning student. They would do their interpretation of the answer and also practice their English. In turn, going back to the American student would have their answer. We haven't embedded this part yet, but we're hoping to have a rating system which gives the Korean students feedback as to their forms of communication. Thank you.
Because my students, they have a lot of problems about academic problems, or sometimes they make some troubles. So we need to help them as a teachers. That's the idea came from from those problems.
Okay, if you want to say your name and where you're from.
My name is Jae Kim, and I'm from Korea.
So as he said, my name is Phil, and I work with Yannicka as well. And he has the high school student problem in Korea, where they want to learn English better. And Yannicka's students in K5 in Delaware want to learn how to do math better, right? So putting those two teams together, we thought this is an interesting way that both groups could teach each other in a tutor app, which we're calling Cultural Connect. And here's our tablet that we built, and the slides would come in right in here. And Yannicka will actually walk you through each screen right after this.
One of the questions that we came up that we needed to determine was, do Korean students really want to learn English?
Yeah, sure. Many Korean students, they want to be fluent in English. They always study to be fluent in English. They spend a lot of time in learning English. And many Korean parents, they spend every year almost 6 trillion won learning English out of schools, not in schools. That's the biggest problem.
Do you think that the mechanism that the Korean English learner community in Korea, do you think it's an effective way of teaching English?
Sorry, I don't understand your question.
Do you think that the system that you have in schools
Yeah.
is an effective way to learn English?
I don't think so. So I think that's the biggest problem in teaching Korean students English. So maybe that is because most Koreans, they don't listen English well and speak English well. Of course, they can read English. They can write. Write English, but listening and speaking is really difficult for most Korean students.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this app would probably be very beneficial.
Yeah, I think so. It will be very beneficial for Korean students. It will help them learn English well. It's a very one of the advantages is very cheap.
And not only that, but it's a conversational English, which I speak another language, and the colloquial conversation is often difficult to interpret. So this gives them a very good hands-on approach to English.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you.
Here we're mapping out our problems. We looked at the problem in terms of each realm. We have me as a K5 teacher. This is an app that I've been thinking of. We also have Phil, who brought in different types of questions and experience from the software development side of industry and all the different things that he thought of. We thought of Jae-jin and what he's looking for in his app. And then we also had to think about culturally what are some of the things that we had on our table. We had guests come and review our app, and we refined our app to create this. We started out with the idea of the tutor app, and then we mapped what it would look like as we went. So first we have our login, and as you see with our next iteration, we have a place for the teacher. And then what that looks like when you log in as a student for K-5, and then as a Korean student, and next as the teacher where they log in. We talked about how the cultural connection would work. And we also wanted to be able to use this as a seamless form of data collection and formative assessment. So we put in an analytics part. This part we didn't develop as detailed as we had the other parts. And so we're thinking about what are the things that would be interesting to a teacher, would be critical for learning. We're trying to incorporate that all in. In our next iteration, we hope to refine it and put this skeleton on an actual app software format.